Hello, this is Deborah Bly with eXp Realty, the Bly team. Welcome back to the podcast. I have Laurie Bowman with us again today. And, home warranties, honestly, she can come to one of our trainings here and she can honestly talk about home warranties for 2 hours. We've divided this podcast into a couple of podcasts to kind of go into, I think, the two most prominent, important subjects. So, what we didn't cover last time is there are so many home warranty companies out there, and golly, I mean, if you're a buyer, bless your heart, I cannot give you advice or opinion or direction on which home warranty company is going to fit best for you and your needs and your situation. So you typically will get an email and it will have a list of numerous home warranty companies, and we're encouraging you to do your due diligence, do your research, and pick out the one that you feel is best for you. That being said, when you're a buyer and you receive that, it can be a little bit overwhelming. As a matter of fact, at the bottom of that email it says, feel free to research and question any other home warranty companies out there that are not on this list, because there's a lot.
There's a lot.
There's a lot. So if you were a buyer and you were looking at that list,
yes,
how would you condense down some of the questions or some of the things that you should be looking at?
It's really, that is a
brilliant
question.
I know it's going to be hard to answer this question without putting a plug in for your own home warranty company. But
it is.
As we discussed in the last episode, my last home that I bought, I used you guys.
Yeah.
It was the best fit for me for this particular situation. So, that doesn't mean there's not other great home warranty companies out there.
I'll tell you, there's a couple of key things when you are choosing a warranty. One, I would look at someone who is a registered member of the National Homeowners Association. Two, I would find someone.
How would they find that? How would they know that?
That National Home Warranty Association, you just go see who's registered.
So
and you can even look under TREC too, TREC, but really national. Because there is an accountability in that. That's really good. If I may say this, and I think it's really important to have a local person you can talk to. A local rep.
I will tell you, I know I'm interrupting you.
No, go ahead.
I will tell you, to me, that is huge. To have a local rep where I can just pick up the phone and they answer it, and we have a question. And I know for our clients, sometimes we've had them get a deny, and you will go to bat.
Yeah, I will tell you that the thing that's been astounded me, and I saw it again this year happened. Sometimes when you're only dealing with an 800 number that doesn't have local representation on the ground, and that's all they've got in the area even, sometimes the people on the 800 number really aren't astute about claims. As far as they go, oh, your AC's covered. AC is not fully covered unless you add things to your policy. And even then right now, the new thing we're going to talk about with the HVAC mandate this year, it's going to be hard to get anything fully covered, but it's a huge reduction. So having someone to reach out before and after closing is really important.
Yeah, so what you said there, I think, was really important for people to understand. You get a home warranty on your home, you think, okay, I have peace of mind, I don't have to worry, I know it was an older AC, it's covered, I'm not going to have any problems. But the AC isn't necessarily covered, or they may...
The basic warranties typically cover certain things that they're going to say. Now, there's another thing so I'm just going to go back to my list though, because the AC is going to fit right into here. When you're choosing a warranty, so a representative, a quality company with deep pockets, that's a little harder to find. And the other thing was start date. Start date, if it is a home warranty company typically in your offices and they are getting a home buyer's plan, it should be starting the day of closing, and here's why. The first 90 days to 6 months are the highest rate of people calling in with claims during that first year. And it's the time there's actually issues on it. It's the time they're upset because they've just bought a home and they expect everything working because you had inspections, repairs. So that it's really important to get a start date. For example, I had one, it was not a resale. It wasn't for a real estate plan. It was just for general homeowners calling in. The homeowner did not know to ask. When did their policy start? It was activated 30 days after funds were in. Well, funds get Pony Expressed from title to home warranty typically, so that's going to add another 10 days. They weren't being covered till 45 to 50 days after closing. So start date is really good. The other thing is, let's look at your equipment that's most expensive and end of life. Those are the things you probably want to cover the best. The other thing is, understand every company's going to have limits. It's just like any policy where you have goods and services assigned in a dollar amount. You've got to have some limits in there.
It's just like your home. It's just like your home insurance and everything else.
Absolutely, and so that's why it's tougher for homeowners to know. That's why I'm sharing this particular bit. So understand that some companies are not going to cover your AC if you have not maintained it. That is a real big thing to know whether they do or not, because you don't know what that seller, how they've managed to maintain their home. So that as a home buyer, that could be really important. Some companies don't have a problem with that. Typically, it would say something like, lack of maintenance isn't required. There's clauses. The other thing is dollar limits. Dollar limits are all over the map these days. So there's companies in our offices right now that have a $500 limits per appliance versus, I know First American is $3,500 per appliance. There's a huge difference.
There's a huge difference between $500 and $3,500.
There's a big difference. There's a big difference.
So one of the things, one of the very key thing is, what is your limit? That's definitely a question.
That's an easy question to ask. And by our rules, it has to be stated somewhere in the policy. Now, a lot of the policies due to the Let's Save the Trees movement, which I do heartily agree with, but now we're having to maybe go to a QR code for people to look at their brochure to see all the details. It has to be in there per the home warranty regulations in TREC. So everything should.
Texas Real Estate Commission.
Thank you. Expertise.
Well,
there.
not everybody knows all these.
That's
acronyms,
true.
right?
That's true. So another one is a home warranty going to cover your water heater if it fails due to sediment? Some companies don't. I know First American does. Because that's. Of course, I had no idea when I started that there was a faucet on the front of a water heater for a purpose. Have I ever cleaned mine out? No. But that's why I have a policy that does not require me to do so. I will have to say, in generalities, lack of maintenance protection and servicing your home regularly for your AC and other equipment is really important because it will make your equipment last longer.
Yeah.
Other things I think I wanted to mention out. So if you have a home that has real cutting edge equipment or really older equipment you've never seen before.
Either or.
Yeah,
right?
either or. Go back and ask, hey, is this going to be covered or is it coverable? Yeah. And then most companies do have an option for pool, well, septic, those sort of things, and guest houses. And also the size of the home may be important. Yeah. Typically in our world, if it's over 5,000 or 4,000 square feet, there's an additional cost, typically.
Right. Well, but you guys have that.
Yep.
You guys have that clearly spelled out.
It is spelled out, but there's so much overwhelm by home buyers and sellers. Quite frankly, they don't always know to look for these, so they're just looking at the big thing of what's the price and how long. Oh, how long is that list of equipment? Yeah. And what's the price? They forget to look at limits, clauses, and things like that.
Start dates. Will they cover the same things? I think that pretty much I think that pretty much well covers it. I know one of the things we did want to dive into, because I think this is right now it's going to be it'll definitely be a pertinent thing. Yeah. So January 1st, how do you say? We got new AC, HVAC regulations, right?
HVAC regulations.
Can you speak to that way better than I can?
Yeah. So I admire that we are trying as a nation to become more ozone friendly and reduce our HFC emissions, and I'm going to just lead it.
What is HFC?
Hydrofluorocarbons, I do believe.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that's
great.
It. Yeah. And they're hoping by the year with this new implementation to have our ozone or emissions reduced by 85% by the year of 2036.
Yeah.
So that's a great goal. Now this only pertains to residential, but here's the big deal. It involves a new refrigerant that is flammable. So I just had a new one installed next to my hot water heater, which is gas. So I was really excited to know that I have a flammable refrigerant up there. What happens if it leaks? Well, that's what's happened. The new refrigerant is what it's called, is flammable. So the equipment now is new. It has to have sensors, it has to have shutoff valves to make this all safe and friendly for us. So what's happened is as that old equipment and old refrigerant is unavailable, either one of those, it may be that a part that has to be changed is not going to be compatible with the new. So let's say the outside condenser.
So you have an AC, let's say 3-4 months after you purchase the home, you have an issue, maybe it's low on Freon or something else like that. At that point in time, you call the home warranty company. Is that AC going to have to be upgraded to the new refrigerant?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Not necessarily. I will tell you on my own change out, they actually have a hybrid going back to R22, which is years ago, that they can put in the older units. So it really is not just the refrigerant, but it's also the equipment. So here's a good example. I think let our AC people chime in on this. But in my limited knowledge, if let's say the condenser goes out and they are having to make changes, and I could be back, it could be the condenser outside versus the evaporator coil inside. If it is not compatible with that new evaporator coil and it has to be replaced, well, that's the thing that's going to have the sensors, the shutoff valves. It's not going to be compatible. Someone's going to have to pay for that.
Okay, so who's going to pay for it?
Who's going to pay for it? Depending on the company you're with,
and the coverage you chose.
And the coverage you chose, that company may pay for the part. You're still going to have non-covered costs. This is whether you're with a home warranty or not. So the question is, do you want to pay full price for this, or do you want a discount?
Right. And it's a pretty huge discount.
It's a huge difference. Yeah. I had a girl the other day, and I can't guarantee that all numbers are going to be the same because it depends on the age of the unit, the tonnage, the SEER ratings or efficiency rating, where it is in the home, because I think the new systems are just getting bigger and bigger. Yeah. And then also the technicians don't always charge the exact same price.
Right.
So we had a girl that her system had to be changed out. We were buying her, I think it was her condenser went out, but we're having to pay for her air handler unit as well because we do cover the part that even though it's not failed, it's got to be compatible. And so we paid for that. If she had had if she had had the basic policy, instead of paying like $11,000, she was going to pay $3,500. Is that a good discount?
That's a pretty good discount.
But if she had had the 2 upgrades, I tell everybody to get, if they have end-of-life equipment, it would have cost her just right around $1,000.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
It's a big deal. I can't always guarantee those prices, but any discount, we're hearing astronomical numbers.
I mean, we're talking about big numbers.
Thousands.
Yeah, thousands of dollars. So
yeah.
Anyway, highly recommend that if you are looking at purchasing home or selling home, or for that matter, if you have an existing home that you're not planning on selling whatsoever, you can still get a home warranty.
Absolutely.
As a matter of fact, a lot of homeowners that rent out their home, I don't know if we can call them landlords anymore.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
yeah, what's the proper word?
What's a proper politically correct term?
The owner.
But the owner of the home that has a house that they're leasing out, a lot of them actually have home warranties on their homes, and then if there is an issue, there's a 1-800 number that the tenant calls to go ahead and make repairs.
I did that when I had a rental home in Corpus. I had a policy on that, so they had a place to call in, get things, get resolution. Yeah.
So, I mean, back to, this is an important decision to make. If you have any questions on this, Chris is going to post Laurie's phone number and email address down below. I know she would be delighted to take your call and help you out, because at least she does for me all the time.
And she is special, but I would still do it. Yeah.
No, she's wonderful. She'd be happy to help out. And then just the disclaimer to the end of the video. I sell houses. I know nothing about home warranties or ACs. You sell home warranties and you know nothing about ACs. So if you have any specific AC questions, direct those questions to your AC company.
There you go.
Thanks for joining in.